Hey there, everybody. This is Steve Quillian from Wood Window Makeover, and this is my dad, James Quillian from Fantasy Free Economics. So the first one was have dignity, and we skipped to the third to talk
Yeah.
about the tools. What was the second?
The second one was make good trades.
Make good trades.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. What do you mean by make good trades?
Well, by that I mean is that you want to make sure that you get good value for your time and effort.
Well, wait. So a bad trade would be to pawn your tools.
Yeah, that would be a bad trade. You have to
be
make
a bad trade.
Good trades, and to make good trades, you have to have foresight. You have to practice deferred gratification constantly. Mm-hmm. Because let's say if you have somebody has a habit like smoking, right? Mm-hmm. It's not a good trade. You're smoking a cigarette. You're taking years off your life for about 5 minutes of pleasure. Mm-hmm. That's not a good trade. You have to think about what you're doing. And if you go out shopping, of course, it doesn't hurt to be price conscious either. But you just have to. Life is making trades. Anytime that you're doing something, you could just as well be doing something else. So a good trade, as far as your time is concerned, if you're a student, you could be out at the movies or playing video games, or you have the choice of studying and making yourself smarter and getting ready tomorrow. So if you decide that you were going to stay home and study and have a good weekend that way, that would actually be a good trade, in my opinion.
So you're talking about a good trade could be a conscious way that you trade your time.
Yeah. Anything, everything that you've got is a resource. You could use it one way or the other.
Because it is your time.
It is your time, right?
So you could trade it however you want.
That's right.
You could go play video games, or you could read Alexander Solzhenitsyn's The Gulag Archipelago.
Yeah. Or you could go get drunk.
You could.
Get drunk and forget all of it.
Yeah. I'm going to trade all this.
These are choices that people make. We have no choice but to make these choices.
What? Say that again?
We have no choice but to make these choices.
So what is that? I mean,
well, because every minute of your life, you have to choose what you're going to do. And you could choose that, or you could do something else. But, you're always in charge of your own time, and you're always you're trading your time for one thing or another. I mean, some people that are business, some people that are in business make bad trades. Somebody can lose money, and then he can start selling merchandise for under cost to generate, generate cash. That would not be a particularly good deal. Mm-hmm. No, I make bad trades. Don't get me wrong. When I make a good trade, a bad trade, I know it's a bad trade when I make it. Like, I'll give you an example. Jean, my wife, and I, we buy a lottery ticket every time there's a Texas Lotto drawing. Mm-hmm. But I'm very well aware that the lottery is a tax on people who are bad at math. Mm. I'm not bad at math, but I know that's not a good use of a dollar. Yeah. So nobody's perfect. But I mean, to make a good trade, it makes, you can make a few bad trades if you want to, but on things that really make a lot of difference, it's just bad. It's best not to.
Okay, so early in life, you were raising us kids.
Yeah.
You made some trades.
Yeah.
What's an example of a trade that you made that you're glad that you made that might have been hard at the time?
Well, I'll have to think about that for a minute. I'd have to look back on that. It's not my nature to second guess what I've already done. But let me see, what could I have possibly traded for when y'all were young?
Jeez, I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, I can think of my own things. Like I, this things that you told me, like you intentionally decided when you were running your insurance business to have it close by the house, so that
That
if
was a
anything
trade.
happened, yeah.
That was a trade. Well, actually, when after I closed my insurance business and I drove a taxi for so long, well, I made a trade in that because, see, I knew that I could make more money if I did something else.
Yeah.
But, driving the taxi and leasing cars out to other people and things like that, I could come home anytime I wanted to. Y'all never knew when I was coming or going.
Yeah, that was problematic
I mean,
sometimes, for
so
probably where you're getting in.
I saw value in being in that business as far as for terms of my own time and energy. Just
Yeah.
my own time and energy. I thought that was a pretty good trade. Now, I've made lots of trades, bad trades, but I'm not going to tell anybody what they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Made lots.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I learned the principle of making good trades so well is for making mistakes. It's easy for somebody that's 70 or 71 to get in front of a camera and talk like he's known all these things all his life, but I didn't.
I think part of knowing how to make a good trade is having experience with bad trades.
That's right.
I mean, eventually, if you have a goal in mind and you set off to try to achieve that goal, you're going to make mistakes, and you have to trade to figure out what not to do to eliminate the things that get in the way and find out what you should do.
That's right.
And eventually you will hit the mark. And you can't be afraid to go out there and trade and take your hits.
I have I got one short thing about trades that's really important about trades is that anything that you trade for other than peace is temporary. All right. So, like if you're happy, you're happy today, but the happiness isn't going to last forever because whatever you're happy about is going to eventually disappear.
All right.
So when you make a trade, you have like if if you're trying to find happiness, for example. So one of the things that you want to do is to make sure that what you give up to get happiness is worth it, because it's really very, very easy, to indulge in some momentary pleasure or what have you for happiness and have it burden you for the rest of your life because of the consequences it generated.
Yeah.
So that's part of making trades.
You used to say, son, there's some mistakes you just don't make.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's people lying in the ground right now that made that. As Yogi Berra said, you don't make the wrong mistake.
Right.
He said that to somebody one time. He said, you made the wrong mistake. And that sounded like a joke, but some mistakes are a whole lot worse than others.
That's true.
And I think that's what his point was.
So can you, as we close out this conversation, can you review those three things again, the number 1, the 2, and the number 3?
Sure. You have dignity. You make good trades, and you own your own tools.
Excellent.
Right. If you do those three things and you do it seriously, and don't just treat it as a platitude, that will work.
Awesome. And I'm a believer in that, and I thanks Dad for teaching me that and helping me get my tools. And I appreciate that. So.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I guess that's gonna be all for now. God, I really like that. Yeah. So I think that if you, the viewer, like that as well, give us a thumbs up and share it because I think it's really, really valuable. Yeah. hopefully you'll give us a follow and give us a comment, and things like that, and help us do more of this. Tell us what you think. All right, love you guys. Over and out.
That's a song.